What is up, everyone? Welcome back. We got another special episode of the Fantasy Fellowship tonight. We're doing our YouTube Listener League. We got a lot of guys in here ready to draft a 12-team Superflex League. So there is the noise right there. I am officially on the clock. We did do a random draft order. I just somehow ended up with the first overall pick. And because this is Superflex League, I just want to make sure, let me just kind of zoom in here a little bit. We should be filtering by fantasy points here because in a Superflex Leagues, you start two QBs, quarterbacks score the most points. So I'm going to go ahead and slap in Josh Allen here for the first overall pick. And it looks like, DC Olivia did make it. So I think we got a full lobby here. We'll see if we can get some more quarterbacks to go in the first round. And yeah, here we go. We ended up with Josh Allen, first overall. Shout out to the couple people in the draft or in the YouTube chat as well. And yeah, let's see what happens. We're offering, and this is again a 12-team Superflex League. We're offering first place is going to get $50 free. It's a free league, $50 to first, and we'll have fun with this as we go along. So it looks like DC Olivia Paw on the board here, and there's some new names and faces in here. But for the most part, I think about half the league is a carryover from last year. So we got Matt Bame hanging out in the chat room. He's picking number 5 tonight. We'll see what he's up to at the 5 spot. And yeah, we got, I think, 60-second timer. So it's probably going to be a little bit longer of a draft here. It looks like Olivia's Paul here gets Jonathan Taylor. Justin's on the board here. And with a Superflex League, I'm going to just type in Superflex Rankings for you because it's interesting. Fantasy pros here, like they're going to pump quarterbacks early. So you see the first, that's all here if I go Superflex here. So I mean, Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey, Jefferson, Lamar, Kupp, Chase. You see a lot of quarterbacks enter the first round here. So it is an advantage. You see Justin gets Mahomes. There goes Herbert. There goes Justin Jefferson. So we're having fun here. And I wanted to say, too, we recently just went over 500 subscribers. So thank you to everyone who has helped us get to that milestone here. That's a big milestone. So very appreciative of that. And yeah, this is the Fellowship Free Superflex League. We're going to kind of go nice and slow throughout the night. Hope you guys are enjoying a nice beverage or something while the Georgia Tech Clemson game we've got going on here on the side TV. There goes Lamar Jackson, 6th overall. I wish they had a dark mode. That would be kind of nice. Kyler Murray, team number 7. Shout out to Austin Cornelson. That's my brother-in-law there. And then this Team Bauer is my brother. So Andrew's drafting from the 8th spot, it looks like. And then our reigning champion, the Dak, the return of the Jack. It looked like he is drafting from the 9th spot here. So we'll watch and see what he does here. See if he takes Jalen Hurts, Cooper Kupp, McCaffrey, one of those 3 picks probably, I would bet. And he does go Christian McCaffrey. So return of the Dak, return of our defending champion here, taking the 9th overall Christian McCaffrey. Team Jellybean up. So I kind of get confused. I wish there was a way to see your guys' names when you draft, but there's the league history so far. Dak Prescott 10 over Jalen Hurts. Hurts goes to 11. And then we got Devin Mullers here up to pick with the 12th overall pick. So we're moving and grooving through the first round here. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 QBs go in the first round of a Superflex draft. So this is kind of fun. And that's why I like doing Superflex leagues, because it makes you think a lot differently. Your strategy is kind of out the window. You want to grab, 1 or 2 good quarterbacks early. If not, you're going to be kind of left behind and only whipping out some below average quarterbacks. So it's in your advantage to get the QBs early. And yeah, it's going to make some of the good players fall, but eventually all the QBs will go, and then we'll be looking at a lot of the flex players that we'll be drafting as normal. So Team Devin here on the clock with 8 seconds to go. Is he going to take Cooper Kupp here at 12? That seems to be like a good value. He could take 2 QBs here as well. But he ends up getting Cooper Kupp here, and we'll see if he gets to make this pick. He gets Austin Eckler, so Kupp and Eckler, can't hate it. We got Team Mostert on the clock now, Ketchup and Mostert. And I'm curious what quarterbacks continue to fall. But I'm glad looked like everybody was here. Maybe Olivia's, he went on auto, so we'll see about that. I think we're going to have 11 out of 12 people here tonight. There goes Derrick Henry, round 2, pick 2. And there is a rules tab here if you guys need to double check the rules. It's full PPR, Superflex leagues. We're starting 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 Superflex, and we do have 2 flexes. So just make sure you guys continue to draft flex players. So there's the 2 flexes on the side for you guys. But it looks like James Conner went 15th overall, right behind Derrick Henry. So interesting spot there for James Conner. Looks like he went Dak Prescott and James Conner there to start his draft. Ketchup and Mostert gets Jalen Hurts and Derrick Henry. So nobody with 2 QBs yet. We'll see who the first one is with 2 QBs in this one. There goes Joe Mixon. So defending champ gets Christian McCaffrey and Joe Mixon. So avoiding the double QB start. Looks like Andrew Bauer goes Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs. So 2 top 5 receivers. That's a really interesting start as well. And that's what's cool about Superflex leagues is it makes so many different possible starting, duos. I guess essentially there's just a million different ways to kind of build your team. So that's why I like it, because it really just evens things out and it makes everything a lot more, I guess, not predictable. Najee Harris falling to pick number 19. As I'm almost up to pick here, I got 2 picks coming up. Let me go ahead and I want to tap ranking and see what top players are available. Kamara, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel still all on the board here. Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, both still on the board here as well. It looks like Matt Boehm goes with Alvin Kamara, and I think he paired Kamara with Justin Jefferson, so he's having a fun start there. DeAndre Swift goes to Aiden, and yeah, Justin got he's on the clock right now. He's got Mahomes. I'll be interested to see who he pairs Mahomes with. Interesting. A lot of good QBs on the board yet. You got Rodgers, Brady, Wilson, Burrow. A lot of good QBs left on the board here. And typically I would talk more about, in a mock draft, I would probably talk a little bit more about what I'm doing. But in this, I kind of got to wait and see what happens when I'm on the clock. So waiting for Justin to make his pick here. He started with Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to come back here with about 10 seconds left to make this pick. And Tom Brady. So he collects Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady. So that's the first team with 2 QBs. So I'm gonna go ahead and take another quarterback. I'm gonna go ahead and take Joe Burrow here. Joe Burrow as my QB2. And now I can start to just pound some of the top rated receivers here. I believe you can draft as many different positions as you want. So go ahead and continue to do whatever you feel like. I'm going to collect CeeDee Lamb here. I'll collect CeeDee Lamb as my first non-quarterback player here. At 25 overall, I feel pretty good about CeeDee Lamb. So yeah, no cap positions. I think you can draft as many as you want. I'm pretty sure I don't believe I set any limits here. So yeah, if you want to take a ton of quarterbacks, what's going on, David? Thanks for hanging out tonight, enjoying this this live Fantasy Fellowship draft. And as we enter the 3rd round here, after I took CeeDee Lamb, you see Deebo Samuel go, Travis Kelce, the first tight end off the board, and then Aiden collects Russ Wilson. So I think Aiden has Herbert, Wilson, and DeAndre Swift. I like that start. Yeah, can't be mad. Yeah, Tom Brady, and you come back with Travis Kelce stacked with Mahomes. So I like the early stack there. Matt Boehm stacks Justin Jefferson with Kirk Cousins too. So that's kind of a fun stack there. I wish they had a better way of some kind of draft board that we could see here. But we're moving and grooving here. Team Cornelison drafts Tyreek Hill in the 7th round. Andrew Bauer, my brother, gets Aaron Jones at the 3-8 spot. And we got our defending champion, Porsche 2-3 on the board here. He gets T. Higgins. Dang it, that's a good pick. I would have loved T. Higgins on my squad to pair with Joe Burrow, but great pick in T. Higgins there. DJ Moore off the board here. So now you're starting to see, again, there's a lot more flex players coming off the board. As far as QBs available, you still have Rodgers, Stafford, Lance, Tua, Derek Carr. So even Trevor Lawrence, I think there's kind of a tier break after Lawrence, but there's still about 4 or 5 good quarterbacks left on the board here. But I'm going to start probably hammering some flex players the rest of the way, and we'll see what we can get here. But we're just about done with the 3rd round. There finally goes Matthew Stafford at the end of the 3rd round. So far in the 3rd round, you have you got 1, 2, Only 3 quarterbacks in the 3rd round so far. And we'll see what Mollers does here at the turn to send us into the 4th round. And if you guys are new to the league, the playoff settings is very unique. I think this is what if you're in a 12-team league, I think the perfect number for playoff participants is 7. You want to have the first team that wins the regular season, he gets a bye, but then the rest, you have 6 other players playing in week 1 in the fantasy playoffs, and it's very similar to the NFL playoffs how they work. But that's my favorite playoff format, is the top 7 teams. And you always want to make team number 7 in on points scored. So that's my favorite fantasy playoff setup here. So it looks like Mollers gets Rodgers and Derek Carr. I don't mind it. So that's part of the thing I was talking about earlier, where there's so many different ways to do this. Like, you could take QB early, but you can also land an Aaron Rodgers and a Derek Carr here at the 3-4 turn, and that turns out pretty nice because both guys are top 10, top 12 for the most part every week. So good start to the draft here. I'm kind of just going to click through here. So DC Olivia's Paws got Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, and Deebo Samuel. No quarterbacks yet. Justin's got Pat Mahomes, Kelsey, and Tom Brady. So he's feeling pretty good about this. Aiden sitting with Herbert, Swift, and Russell Wilson. Matt Bain with Kirk Cousins, AK-41, and Justin Jefferson. There goes Mark Andrews off the board next here. Lamar, Najee, and Saquon Barkley. So heavy running backs with Lamar. That's a lot of rushing yards on that team, by the way. Murray, Dalvin Cook, and Tyreek Hill. This one's a fun, well-balanced start here. Looks like Ramondre Stevenson, round 4, pick 39. Interesting. A little bit early on that one, but you'd love to see it if you're a competitor. Aaron Jones, Jamar Chase, and Stephon Diggs. I really like this start by Andrew here. There's a lot of sex appeal right there. Chase, Diggs, and Aaron Jones. That's a fun. Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson at 39th overall. Very crazy. CMC, Mixon, Higgins, and Pittman. I like this. This is a fun, balanced team here by our defending champion. CMC, Mixon, Higgins, and Michael Pittman Jr. So he'll be looking for quarterbacks later. Dak Prescott, Connor, Stevenson, DJ Moore. Interesting. I don't know if Ramondre, he's probably not worth the 4th round pick, but who knows? He's super talented, and I could see him being a strong RB2 by the end of the year. Here we got Jalen Hurts, Henry, Mark Andrews, and Matt Stafford from Ketchup and Mostert. Team Mollers with Rodgers, Eckler, Kupp, and Derek Carr. So we're entering, I guess we're in the middle of the 4th round right now. Everyone's starting to collect their 2 QBs. Tua Tagovailoa goes in the 4th round here. As I look here, let me see who's best available. Leonard Fournette, Javonte Williams, still the top RBs on the board here. You do have top receivers. Keenan Allen, looks like Mike Evans just went. A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin. So there's a lot of juice here left in the 4th round. There goes Trey Lance. A nice round 4 snag there for Trey Lance. And as I'm up to pick here, pretty close. I'm hoping to get I like the board for me. There's a lot of running backs, receivers, tight ends. I like the board for where I'm going to be picking here at 48, 49. There goes Justin Fields. As Matt Bain needed a quarterback, I think he went for he's got Fields and Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. So that's an interesting start here for Matt Bain. Cousins, Fields, Jefferson, AK-41. Now let's see what Aiden does here. Aiden currently on the clock. Herbert, Swift, Fournette, and Russell Wilson. So he gets the big value. In my big draft the other day, Leonard Fournette went 48th overall. So he seemed to be the one that slid in Superflex leagues. And then we got Justin up to pick here with Mahomes, Kelsey, Brady. He's probably torn with this pick. That's a tough one. This is a tough pick. I like Javonte Williams here, but I've been saying all summer, he doesn't look like a running back 1. He looks best as an RB2 on your team. So I'm curious to see what Justin does here. A lot of receivers I like on the board. Even, I guess, I don't mind Ezekiel Elliott here either. But I'm going to be on the clock in a little bit here, so I got to start looking at what I'm doing. Javonte, A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen. He goes Nick Chubb. Interesting. And then, of course, Javonte Williams off the board. I'm up to pick here, and the fact that I can get A.J. Brown seems pretty cool. There's also a couple running backs, but I like the receivers right now. And I acknowledge I'm probably not getting Travis Etienne to fall back to me, but I'm going to collect A.J. Brown, and I'm going to collect I should probably draft Kyle Pitts right here, but I'm going to go ahead and collect Mike Williams. So I'm liking my team. I got CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, and big Mike Williams, as well as Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. There goes Keenan Allen at the 2 spot there. Round 5, pick number 2. And now it gets kind of fun because you're starting to see like all these players that are left on the board, like they're probably, you push them up around in a typical 1 QB draft. So we're still getting a lot of good players. It just really pushes quarterbacks up the board. So Cam Akers, McLaurin, Deontay, Jalen Waddle. Kyle Pitts is probably a player that's going to go pretty soon here. So, I mean, I would have loved to grab ETN or Kyle Pitts at this point of the draft here, but the fact that I could still get AJ Brown and Mike Williams, those to me are fringe wide receiver ones this season. So I had to continue to smack those guys. Whereas instead, I'd be drafting ETN as like a top 15, top 16, or maybe a strong RB2. And Aiden goes with Kyle Pitts there. So I like that pick. Looks like Justin grabbed Nick Chubb and Ezekiel Elliott. So he waited for running back, and he gets 2 pretty strong ones there. Can't complain. And then Aiden collects Kyle Pitts. No receivers yet for Aiden, but he gets Kyle Pitts there. So that's kind of fun. And moving and grooving into the 5th round now. I'm just curious what kind of quarterbacks are still available. So you got Trevor Lawrence, Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, Tannehill. These guys are all kind of, fringe QB2s for the most part. I think Lawrence is the clear-cut best one available. He has a nice rushing floor to his game, but I think for the most part now you're probably gonna see teams move back towards the flex players. So I'll click on I'm gonna go back to all positions and we'll just kind of hit rankings here. Dameon Pierce, round 5, pick 6. So he goes and gets his guy. Matt Boehm getting Travis Etienne there. There goes Trevor Lawrence. So I like that pick by Austin. Good pick there. Trevor Lawrence, round 5 is a pretty good QB2 super flex spot. So I like that a lot. And yeah, Dameon Pierce, guys, he's here, man. Round 5 in a Superflex league. I ended up getting Pierce. What round? I got Dameon Pierce. I got my draft board behind me from over the weekend. I got Dameon Pierce round 7 in a Superflex league, so I feel pretty good about this. Fantasy goods. Let's see what he's got brewing here. Lamar, Najee, Saquon, and Dameon Pierce with Trey Lance. So wow, this is so many rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. This is a lot of running. This is interesting build here, and that's what's fun about this. Is you can Superflex, man, you can really get a lot of unique builds with this format. There goes Jalen Waddle, Breece Hall, DK Metcalf here. I'm trying to remember who was our team that took Stevenson. So here we go. He's got DJ Moore and DK Metcalf as his top 2 wideouts. I don't hate it. I mean, I think DJ Moore is a stud wide receiver in PPR formats, and then Metcalf, I know he might be kind of hit or miss, but I think for the most part, he's still going to be, a top 25, top 30 receiver by the end of it. So I'm still into DK Metcalf. There goes David Montgomery here at the end of round 5. And let me just look around and see here. Top available players here as we enter the 6th round. A lot of good flex players left. Again, and basically like we're looking at like the 4th and 5th round players right now, just because Superflex kind of pushed all those guys back. So that's kind of where we're at. There goes George Kittle. Round 5, pick 12, and now we are into the 6th round. Again, quarterback still available. Wentz, Jones, Tannehill, Matt Ryan, Winston. Great pick here by Mollers with Chase Edmonds. That's one of my favorite running backs to pick. So round 6, pick 1 goes Chase Edmonds. Terry McLaurin falls all the way to round 6, pick 2. He went pretty high in my other draft the other day, so I think that's fantastic value on F1 there, Terry McLaurin. But yeah, let's get back to my team here. There goes TJ Hawkinson, round 6, pick number 3. And we got our defending champion. Let's see what our defending champion's brewing here. Still no quarterbacks. He's got CMC, Mixon, and Breece Hall paired with Higgins and Michael Pittman Jr. All strong names here. And then he plugs in Darren Waller. So that's kind of the last of the stud tight ends. After that, there's maybe a couple guys I still like here. But if not, we're probably going to wait on tight end the rest of the way. I have a feeling I know where my brother is going with this pick, but we'll see if he can make it. I'm curious. He does need a quarterback. He's got Tua as his 1. He goes and gets Dallas Goedert there at the tight end spot. So interesting. I'm surprised he passed down a couple guys there that I know he loves. Interesting. Marquis Brown, that's a fantastic pick. Austin goes and gets he pairs Kyler Murray with Marquis Brown. This is a really strong-looking team. Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Marquis Brown in the flex, and he's got Murray with Trevor Lawrence and Dalvin Cook. So he just needs a couple running backs there to compete at the RB2 spot. But that's a strong looking squad right now. I like that one. And what's nice too is he went QB early and he got a nice one late. So this is looking like a pretty strong team right there. Nice balance. I still don't have a running back yet, so I need to figure out what I'm doing here at running back. There goes Brandon Cooks. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I would have loved to grab him. There goes Cam Akers. I'm curious to see what Justin does here. Justin knows my board pretty well, and he needs some receivers. No starting wide receivers yet. There's a bunch of good ones here. The top three, Deontay, Judy, and Cortland Sutton, all fantastic options for sure. Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis, Chris Godwin. There's tons of receivers here available. Even Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson. Really strong receiver market right now at this point in the draft. And I want to double and I think it's going to pay off. I'm hoping to collect some numbers here soon. But yeah, so far it's looking pretty good. I love the receivers that I got. So I could use one more flex. Looks like Justin grabs Chris Godwin, and he's going to leave me with one of my favorite players to draft. That's Cortland Sutton. I'll grab Cortland Sutton there to finish up my flex. And then I got to do it, guys. I got to go get my A.J. Dillon. Lock them in to my RB1 spot. So 0 RB. We're going with A.J. Dillon there. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Mike Williams, and Cortland Sutton. Feeling good about the wide receivers there. Looks like Olivia's Paul gets Jerry Jeudy. And now we enter the 7th round. So this is where it gets fun. Everyone's kind of filling out their final, flex spot or their final, running back or tight end. It looks like Justin's back on the board here. He needs receivers, so I'm assuming he's going receiver here. But yeah, look at the running backs on the top of the board. J.K. Dobbins, nobody wants that question mark tag there. Jacobs, Mitchell, Clyde Edwards. There's a ton of running backs available here, so that's kind of why I like building a 0 RB team in Superflex leagues. But I still think the meat of this draft board is the receiver. Mooney, Gabe Davis. You got Amari Cooper, Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson, Christian Kirk, Hunter Renfrow, Juju. Tons of wide receivers available here that should be going off the board. And there goes Justin with Allen Robinson, one of my favorite picks. So round 7, Allen Robinson. I think in my Superflex draft, I'm pretty sure he went. When did he go? I'm pretty sure he went in the beginning of the 6th round. So you get a nice little round value there. Great pick. I love Aiden's pick here too, Gabe Davis. I was fortunate enough to draft Gabe Davis in another league over the weekend. And it looks like Aiden plugs Gabe Davis as wide receiver 1, Gabe Davis. So he's going 0 receiver here. I'm going 0 RB. He's going 0 receiver. And technically, Justin went 0 receiver too. There goes Mooney. There goes Hunter Renfrow. So tons of wideouts coming off the board now. Tons of wideouts. Still some QBs off the board here, but I don't know if anyone needs QBs at this point. There goes Josh Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire off the board here. I'll double check my brother's team. He needed a RB2, so he collects Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And yeah, the stacking is fun to do. You might be able, I guess you could maybe took Higbee, and it's you lined it up perfectly. You had 0 wide receivers for me, so I knew that when I saw you needed a receiver, I was getting A.J. Dillon, so it worked out. And that's what's kind of fun too, is like knowing what knowing who's next to you on your left and your right in your draft room, and anticipating like, oh, he's probably not going to draft a running back here. That's a huge skill to have. So didn't realize. Yep, we had A.J. Dillon, baby. Yeah, ESPN's a little bit rough. I wish they would throw. I wish they would have curated us a Superflex playlist here, but we still have Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, Tannehill, Winston. There's still some good QBs on the board here. I think I'll probably grab a 3rd one at some point. But in terms of the rankings here, a lot of running backs available. Still some, to me, there's still some stud receivers left. Dalton Schultz still on the board here. Zach Ertz for tight end. So there's still a lot of juice on these boards as we enter. Looks like we just entered the 8th round here with Juju Smith-Schuster, the first receiver of the 8th round here. Here's a recap of the round 7. A.J. Dillon, Jerry Jeudy, Allen Robinson, Gabe Davis, Darnell Mooney, Hunter Renfrow, Jacobs, Clyde Edwards. Matt Ryan goes here to our defending champion, Amari Cooper, J.K. Dobbins, and Adam Thielen. So this is where it's tough. You take your quarterback early, you're missing out on some of those studs. But also here, you're taking a guy like Matt Ryan and you're passing on some fun upside players at this point. So it's kind of a pick your poison thing, which again, this is why I love playing Superflex leagues, because it's such an interesting dynamic to the draft. There goes Antonio Gibson. Let's take a peek here at Marietta's team. James Conner, Ramondre Stevenson, Amari Cooper, and Antonio Gibson. So interesting. Like we're in the 8th round now, so we're almost filling our starting roster. So this is where it gets fun. Let me go back to my team, as we'll be making a pick here soon. But Antonio Gibson, I mean, 2 weeks ago, before the Brian Robinson thing, it looked like he was going to be in for a long season. But all of a sudden, I think Antonio Gibson offers top 20. Like, he's probably a running back too. And I think with their schedule, I think they have a nice start to the year. We don't expect Brian Robinson back for at least the first 4 games, but man, having some bullets go through your knee, I don't think we should expect to see him anytime soon. I mean, I would feel awful throwing him out there if he wasn't ready. So give Brian Robinson all the time he needs, and that's actually making Antonio Gibson a pretty good pick here. So nice RB2 here for Marietta's team. There goes Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney is one of he is like the definition of like boom bust, high reward risk potential, because he's like the best receiver on that team. I think Kenny Golladay is kind of dust at this point. Wan'Dale Robinson's a young rookie with a lot to prove, and Kadarius Toney last year flashed some mad skills. Where if the Buffalo, the former Buffalo, offensive coordinator, now converted coach, if he can make something out of Kadarius Toney, I think you could be looking at something pretty nice there, Brian Daboll. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks before I go. I see plenty of players that I like on this board here. Let me just double check the quarterback situation. Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill. There goes Dalton Schultz off the board here to Team Cornelison. Christian Kirk. Oh my goodness, one of my favorite picks. He sniped me on that one. I would have taken Christian Kirk all day if he made it there. So great pick there by Fantasy Good. But yeah, I'm liking 1, 2, 3, 4 ahead of me here. I'm liking some of the values that I'm seeing at this point of the draft. I need a running back and a tight end yet. Ertz, Frymouth. Running back, Mitchell Singletary. I don't love the running backs at this point, though, unfortunately. Drake London, good pick there by Matt Bain. Michael Thomas, Elijah Moore, top receivers on the board. Tyler Lockett also on the board. I like Tony Pollard. I don't know if I love him as a running back too, but great pick there. I was going to probably take Elijah Mitchell there if Aiden didn't take him, so that's a fantastic spot there. Cordero Patterson's still on the board. I wouldn't mind whipping up Cordero Patterson. He's a guy that performed really well last year, and he didn't play very well down the stretch the last 4 games, but he kind of just got burnt up along the way. There goes Miles Sanders. I'm up to pick here. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go best player available here. I'm gonna go Michael Thomas, and then guess what? I'm not done. I'm gonna continue to ignore running back and tight end. I'm gonna collect Elijah Moore here, and I'm gonna try. This is an experiment for me. It's a free league. I want to experiment and see like how long I can go without a running back or a tight end in a draft. And the auto got messed over. Zach Ertz and Miles Sanders here. Let's see the auto pick guy here. So he still doesn't have a quarterback yet. I don't hate the auto draft team. He's got some good spots here, but he definitely needs. It's going to be a while before he gets a quarterback on this auto draft team. So I don't know what to do with this. I mean, none of these quarterbacks are ranked really high. He's probably not going to get a quarterback on this team. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it would there is actually roster limits, Matt. 2 QBs. Is there roster limits on this league? Let me look and see. Looking up the potential roster limits for this. Because there shouldn't be roster limits. I would be surprised if there was. Yeah, we have no roster limits for this league here. No roster limits. Cool. But anyways, we're moving into the 9th round. Let's double check here. After I take Elijah Moore, you see Zach Ertz, Brandon Ayuk. There goes Alan Lazard. I like that pick there. A fun potential number 1 receiver for the Packers. There goes DeAndre Hopkins off the board. Does anybody not have a quarterback yet besides the auto draft team? It looks like everyone's got 2 QBs so far. My brother needs a second quarterback. Defending champ needs another quarterback here. Marietta needs another quarterback here. So it looks like 4 teams, a couple teams need some quarterbacks yet. So hopefully those guys start coming off the board. There goes Rashad Penny. Chris Olave, I like that pick a lot. Fun upside pick there. Number 2 receiver for the Saints. We'll see what happens here. Still top players on the board include Tyler Lockett, Kareem Hunt, Damian Harris. Damian Harris falls a little too far, I think, here at this point. So we'll see. There goes James Robinson, round 9, pick 8. I like that. I like that spot for James Robinson. Still a ton of tight ends, receivers on the board here. Is there a cap? Heard you mention again, but I had to pick. A cap. So for some reason, it's saying these roster limits here in the bottom quarter. I don't know what that is. Because it's got the dash next to it, so it's unlimited. I mean, if you wanted to draft a team with 10 receivers, I think you could do it. So there's no player caps, nothing that you need to worry about. Good pick there, Damian Harris. It looks like Team Marietta finally got the pairing here, Stevenson and Damian Harris. So interesting spot to see what he's got going on there. And our final pick in the 9th round. You got Robert Woods at 9-11 there. Good spot for Tony Pollard. I like that pick there by our defending champion. And then this final pick here in the 9th round. And yeah, I looked it up on the other website here in another tab, and we do not have any position cap limits. So I'm a little bit nervous about this auto team here. This was the team I was trying to fill, and I'm not sure what to do with this. So we might have to give him a quarterback at some point. But anyways, Kareem Hunt, Cordero Patterson, 2 good running backs there at the turn. I like good move there by Mollers to just collect some good running backs. Didn't even need them, but he gets a potential flex starter in one of these guys here. So nice, well-balanced draft here by Mollers. He's got Rodgers, Eckler, Chase Edmonds, receivers Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen, George Kittle, Juju, Cordero, Derek Carr, Kareem Hunt. Really nice here. So this is kind of fun because I think we're officially past the 9th round. Everyone's kind of got a starting lineup. So Ketchup and Mostert's got Hurts and Stafford as his QBs. His running backs are Henry, David Montgomery, receivers McLaurin, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews at the tight end spot, JK and Robert Woods here. So interesting lineup there. Team Marietta still needs a number 2 QB. We'll see if he grabs one soon. There goes Ketchup and Mostert with a nice Kenneth Walker snag. Return our defending champion. Only 1 QB yet. He's got Matt Ryan, but McCaffrey, Mixon, Higgins, Pittman, Waller, Breece Hall, Tony, and Tony Pollard there. So a couple Tonys on the end of the board. Looks like my brother also needs a QB2 yet. But this one's interesting. Nice group of receivers here. Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Waddle, Devonta Smith paired with Dallas Goedert. A couple running backs, Jones and Clyde Edwards with Tua at the top here. And then this one I like this team here by Austin Cornelison. Kyler Murray and Trevor Lawrence as the QBs. Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs is fine as a running back too. Tyreek and Mike Evans, Dalton Schultz, Marquise Brown, Chris Olave. So that's kind of fun there. Finally, Carson Wentz comes off the board. There goes Tyler Lockett. Let me go ahead and look at what do we got for quarterbacks available here. Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Jameis Winston, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Jared Goff. So there's a bunch of quarterbacks still available here that I like quite a bit. If we look at, ranking here, Garrett Wilson, Chase Claypool, top receivers on the board. I'm pretty much set at wide receiver, so I don't know if I'm going to go back for a while yet. I do like DJ Chark, MVS. There's some fun ones here. Team Andrew gets Pat Frymouth as another tight end for him. Yeah, we're almost up to pick here at round 11, round 12, and we're moving. About a half an hour into the draft. I want to thank you all for hanging out with us tonight and drafting. And yeah, we finally passed 500 subscribers. So Very appreciative for everyone enjoying the videos, man, and hanging out with us. I think the participation in the chat room is super important, and it's a sign of a healthy YouTube channel. So, Team Matt Bain here on the clock. Let's see. He goes with Michael Carter. I like collecting Michael Carter here. He needed that was his RB3. So I like that. Still no tight end. I like that as well. I'm kind of team punt tight end. I love punting tight ends. Daniel Jones, Garrett Wilson off the board here. I could collect Cole Kmet, but boys, I'm going to the old faithful. I'm getting my Nyheim Hines, of course. I need Nyheim Hines. I could take James Cook here. I don't know if I love it. Let me hit all positions. Cole Kmet's at the top of the list for tight ends. I think that'd be kind of nice. But I'm going to collect Jameis Winston because he shouldn't be on the board right now in a Superflex league. So I'm going to collect Jameis Winston there as my third QB behind Burrow and Josh Allen. I can whip him out a couple times during bye weeks, and if not, if anything happens, I got an injury insurance there. So I will happily collect Jameis Winston. But yeah, I'm getting nervous about man, this team's not looking good for quarterbacks here. So hopefully he can find something. But anyways, we're moving and grooving here into the 12th round. George Pickens sighting here, round 11, pick 4 for Aiden. Go back to the history here. Winston, Cole Kmet, Tyler Boyd, George Pickens, all off the board here. I still don't have a tight end. I need more running backs, but I think that's just where my draft is going to go the rest of the way. I love a good 0 running back team, so we'll see if it can take this one home. But yeah, I love my receivers are sick. CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Mike Thomas, and Elijah Moore. Good pick there by Matt. James Cook. I was definitely thinking about him at my turn there. He's just a good guy you want to collect and put on your bench. And with he could be a guy that, a week or two into the season, we don't see him get a lot of work. But if he just has one game where he pops and all of a sudden they realize that, yeah, we got to find more ways to get him the ball, I think you could have a lot of fun with James Cook. I mean, you want to be a part of that best offense in the league. So I think Cook definitely that was pretty good James Cook there, snipe. David Njoku off the board. I love him as a tight end 1. Mac Jones, nice snag there by Austin Cornelison as his QB3. Ryan Tannehill, Andrew gets his quarterback 2. So quarterbacks starting to run pretty thin here. Top available QBs, Zach Wilson, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Davis Mills. There goes another one, Baker Mayfield. So now we're kind of down to like 3 solid quarterbacks. Wilson, Goff, Mills, Gino, Mariota. There's some junk here at quarterback. So a round 11 run on the QB spot. So we'll see what happens. I believe everyone's got 2 QBs now except the auto draft team. Marcus Mariota. There we go. Huge QB run here in the 11th round. Winston, Mac, Tannehill, Mayfield, Mariota, Davis Mills. This is great. Round 11, the quarterback run is here. Can we keep it going? Let's see what Mollers does. Does he need a QB? He's got Carr and Rodgers. He probably doesn't need a QB, but I do think the teams that got 3 QBs are feeling pretty good. I mean, at that point, you just don't want other teams to get a good quarterback too that didn't have one already. So that's why I took Winston, because I think he was the clear cut best QB left on the board. I think the New Orleans Saints are going to have a pretty fun fantasy squad for offense. There goes Darrell Henderson. That's a really strong pick there from Mollers. Let's see if he goes with another running back or what's best available here. The entire lineup is filled. He's got a nice 4 running backs here, 5 running backs. Probably needs another receiver here. Only 3 receivers with George Kittle, so we'll probably look at receiver here. But we're officially entering the 12th round, so we're getting to the nitty gritty here. No defenses and no kickers in my league. I think they're kind of a headache and a little bit annoying for fantasy, and I think everybody likes more points. So more points, more flexes, more fun. Michael Gallup, good pick. I was going to think about Michael Gallup at some point because he's got the red O on his thing, and we have a couple IR spots in this league. There goes Traylon Burks. I like that pick there too at this point in the draft. He didn't have the best preseason, but okay, rookie receivers coming off the board. Burks, Jahan Dotson. Let me look in the go to my rankings tab here. I want to see what. Oh, let me go to all positions. Jacoby, there's some good receivers on the board. Jacoby, Russell Gage, MBS, DJ Chark. Some tight ends still out there. Knox, Henry, Jasicki. More receivers here. Landry, Palmer. More tight ends down the list here too. But yeah, I like where the draft is at. We're at that sleeper round of the draft here. There goes Tyler Algier, the rookie running back for the Atlanta Falcons, round 12, pick 4. We'll see what the Andrew goes Dawson Knox. I think that dude's got 3 freaking tight ends. He's got Goddard, Frymouth, and Dawson Knox. So just gobbling up tight ends. That's annoying, but someone's got to do it. So Dawson Knox off the board there. He snipes me on Dawson. I was hoping to get Dawson Knox here as my next pick, but Andrew needed 3 tight ends. Hunter Henry off the board there. Jared Goff, probably really good value there on Jared Goff. And yeah, I will I will be talking to my brother after this one. I want to go get Dawson Knox. 3 tight ends, dang it. I might be one of the only teams without a starting tight end right now. So I'm just looking around here. Oh, looks like the Matt Boehm needs a starting tight end. Return of the Dak is good. Yeah, only one team needs 2 teams need a tight end. That's the one on the clock right now. And Matt goes Jacoby Myers, so he's gonna wait for tight ends here. I definitely need running backs, but again, I really don't mind absolutely punting at tight end at this point of the draft. Evan Ingram, good snag there. But I'm gonna collect some running backs here. I'm gonna give me J.D. McKissick, and I'm gonna take Kenneth Gainwell here because I need running backs with some upside. Gainwell's a fun player in that Philadelphia offense. I got 2 more bench spots left here, so I'll fill those out with maybe another running back or 2. And again, I got AJ Dillon, Naheem Hines, J.D. McKissick. Who is Matt Boehm snagging at the tight end spot? Matt Boehm. He's definitely going for Alberto Quagbunam. Either that or he's going to go get I can't remember who he liked. Hopefully Mike Gesicki or Noah Fant. But I love 0 tight end strategy. I think it's one of the more fun strategies in fantasy football. Yeah, I was heavily thinking about Mostert there. I think Mostert's in for a pretty nice bounce back season. A lot of people are kind of just done with him because he's kind of been, just injury riddled and he's burned us in the past. But I think Mostert, if you saw him in that preseason game, he looked freaking fast. And what's scary, the Dolphins have the 2 fastest guys in terms of miles per hour that have been clocked in the NFL game. That's Mostert and Tyreek Hill. So that Dolphins offense, man, it's going to be quick. Good snag there for Jamal Williams. There goes Jarvis Landry off the board. Moving into the 13th round, Nico Collins. I like that pick there. A fun bench receiver for you. Let me go ahead and look at all positions here. DJ Chark still on the board. I think DJ Chark's a phenomenal value. My brother goes and gets Kenny Pickett. I kind of like the Kenny Pickett snag there in Superflex. DJ Chark, Gesicki. I like Josh Palmer quite a bit too, so you guys should probably look at Josh Palmer. That's a guy that's probably the clear number 3 in targets over there in LA. There goes Chark. Some rookie receivers down here: Jalen Tolbert, Wan'Dale Robinson, Alec Pierce. Some fun options there. Curious if anyone takes Isaiah Pacheco. Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, some fun Packer rookie wide receivers still out there as well. So yeah, we're doing pretty good here. Zamir White, rookie running back up for the Josh Jacobs Las Vegas. Julio Jones, so interesting. Julio Jones, we'll see who he comes back here with on the turn. Yeah, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, that's kind of nice receiver value this late. But we've officially entered the 4th round here, or the 14th round. Mollers will kick us off here with the first pick in the 14th round. Romeo Dobbs right there. There we go. We were just talking about the Packers rookie wide receiver. So then there goes Christian Watson right after him too. Very nice. I think both those guys are fun upside picks to put on your bench. And maybe they don't pop off week 1, week 2, but they do have potential to gain steam as the season progresses. Mike Gesicki, there goes Robbie Anderson. Uh, a lot of interesting picks in the 14th round here because it's kind of fun. Like if you could snag a potential starter in this round, that's what's going to separate you. So slamming some of these sleepers, huge part of fantasy football. I just want to see what quarterbacks are available left. Wilson, Geno, and that's pretty much it. Like we're looking pretty ugly here. Jacoby, like there's only 3 potential starting quarterbacks left. I did hear Zach Wilson could be starting week 1, so that makes me like him a little bit better. So I don't hate that. My brother goes and gets Rashad White. Interested in see what Team Cornelison does here. One, two, three. I have a few picks ahead of me here, and then I'll start kind of talking about what I'm looking at. I mean, I'm clearly taking running back or tight end, so if you want to snipe me, that's where I'm looking. We'll go ahead and hit by rankings here. Top of players available: Devontae Parker, Noah Fant, Irv Smith, Higbee, of course, Brian Robinson. If you want to stash him, he's got the red O, so you could put him on the IR. There's Khalil Herbert, Alexander Madison, Jerick McKinnon, Kenny Galladay, Tolbert, Wandale, Pierce. I tell you, I kind of like Isaiah McKenzie at this point in the draft. A fun flex receiver option for sure. There goes Isaiah McKenzie. So good pick there, Aiden. I was just talking him up, and Aiden goes and collects him. Irv Smith, good pick there by Matt Babe. Devontae Parker, Noah Fant off the board here. So I'm up to pick as far as tight ends. It's pretty fugly for me. Let me look at the running backs right now. Brian Robinson is there. I could collect Brian Robinson. I don't know if we're ever going to. I just don't know if we're ever going to see him play healthy right now. So I'm going to collect maybe a couple tight ends here. I will take. I'll give Tyler Higbee a try here. And then I have Joe Burrow. I'm gonna slap Hayden Hurst on there. So there's my 2 tight ends. I'll play the tight end game and hopefully 10 points between those 2. Good pick. Brian Robinson. I probably should have taken him there, put him in the IR, but that's okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. This team definitely needs a quarterback. Hopefully they just give him one. Hopefully they just give him one with this last pick. But anyways, 15th round. So get your final flyers in here. Alexander Madison off the board. Zach Wilson, round 15. There's no way you're getting Hayden Hurst, Matt Bain. We talked too many good things about Hayden Hurst the other night. So Robert Tonyan, that's a good pick as well too. Hopefully he can play week 1. So maybe we'll trade. Maybe we'll make a trade for Hayden Hurst. But Higbee and Hurst, I like that duo. Waiting on tight end doesn't look so bad. I think Higbee and Hurst have some fun upside there. Sammy Watkins off the board. There goes Wandale Robinson. As far as the best players available, McKinnon, Galladay, some rookie receivers still. Jalen Tolbert and Alec Pierce. Even like if you wanted to wait on Jameson Williams, he could be back by the mid to end of the season. But at this point, everyone just collect your favorite flyer. We'll end the draft this way, and we'll go from there. Looks like a couple teams here have went on auto pick to finish the draft. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys. As we come to a close here, this was a lot of fun. Excited to compete with you guys, and we'll check in on this throughout the weeks as we go here. I'm all in on the Bengals, whether it's Higgins, Chase, Burrow, Hayden Hurst. Like I'm the Bengals. To me, I think I want to see a Cincinnati, LA Chargers AFC Championship. I suppose Buffalo's up in there too for me. Those are probably my 3 favorite teams in the AFC this year: Buffalo, Bengals, Chargers. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. We got football on Thursday, guys. I gotta pump out some. I just uploaded the start sit charts for the fantasyfellowship.com. So if you guys wanted to look at that, I've updated the website here. You go ahead and click week 1. And I have all the charts in there. I have the over-unders and the scoring for the games. Go ahead and look and see where I got your players ranked. I'll probably be covering that either Tuesday or Wednesday night. So we'll get into start sit shows, and I'm just happy, man. Happy fantasy football is back. Happy the NFL is back, actually. But here we go. Our final pick of the 15th round here. You see a couple Chiefs go back to back. Alec Pierce finally off the board. Good value on Geno Smith here. I just want to see what return of the DAC ended up with QBs. Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield, and Geno Smith. So we'll see here. I love the Josh Palmer pick. One of my favorite receivers to grab late in drafts. But we're finishing it up here, round 16. If you guys have any questions or things like that, look in the ESPN settings first. See if your answer can be found there. But otherwise, for the most part here, we're going 14 regular season weeks straight up here. The number 7 seed is going to be in on most points. So you want a top 6 record or 7 seed most points. A good pick there, Malik Willis. Molars with a fun round 15 pick there. Malik Willis went in the last round of my draft the other day too for Superflex League. So great snag there. And then as I begin to pick my final spot here, I'm just going to start looking at some players here. The running backs are pretty gross. I mean, at this point, I'm hoping to cash in on someone and see what can happen. I still like the tight ends, whether it's Hooper, Okwuegbunam, Everett, even Isaiah Likely, Molly Cox, Brevin Jordan. Like, there's starting tight ends of there's 8 starting tight ends available. I could include Tommy Tremble as 9 if I wanted, even Cameron Brate 10. There's a ton of starting tight ends available here. Odell Beckham, round 16, pick 1. I don't love picking up Odell Beckham here, but I understand it. He hurt himself in February. You move yourself 9 months out from that. That puts him end of November, and maybe he'll be playing by December. I don't know if I can roster a player for that long, but we do have 2 IR spots in this league. Let me look at some of the receivers on the board here. I mean, Jalen Tolbert should probably be drafted. I think Crowder, maybe Jameson Williams is worth putting on the bench. KJ Hamler as the number 3. KJ Osborne going undrafted here seems wrong. Zay Jones going undrafted feels wrong too. So there's some good wide receivers available if you needed a wide receiver. In terms of running backs, I think Mike Davis could be starting week 1. Mark Ingram's just kind of a low handcuff backup here. Damian Williams kind of the same thing. Dontrell Hilliard's the pass catching back in Tennessee. Sonny Michel could be the RB2 for Austin Eckler here. I think between Chuba Hubbard and Deonta Foreman, if CMC were to go down, they're going to use both of these guys here, so it's kind of a wash. I do like Eno Benjamin. I think he's an interesting sleeper here. I do like Amir Abdullah as well as the James White kind of role. He's a guy I don't mind putting on my roster here. There goes Isaiah Likely, round 16, pick 7, Isaiah Likely. So fun pick there. Zach Moss, pretty low on the list here as well. I'm tempted by Amir Abdullah and Eno Benjamin with my last pick here. I'm hoping they give Olivia's paw a damn quarterback. Can we get the guy a quarterback? We'll see what happens here. There goes Tyrion Davis-Price. Good snag there at the end of the draft for him. And these are the top-ranked players here. Justin will make his final pick, and then I might collect another tight end. There goes Tolbert. Good value there. Finally, Deshaun Watson for Olivia's paw. He gets his QB. And then with me, let me just double-check my tight ends. Nobody took Okwuegbunam. I'll fall on Okwuegbunam here. See what happens. But that's it. That's the draft. Thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. I'll go look at the ESPN settings and set my lineup and things like that. But that's going to do it for this video. This was a lot of fun. Again, $50 to first. Superflex League, 7 teams make the playoffs. We'll see you guys in a future video. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good night. And football's back, guys. It's week 1. Peace.